Hello, I'm going to be talking about why the film industry should understand that having an 18 rated film is not a bad thing. Now, with some films, you can't have an 18 rating. I'd love for there to be an 18 rated Avengers. I would dearly love it, because you could do so much. But the Marvel brand doesn't suit 18 at all. But films like Terminator, Rambo, classic action films deserve 18 ratings. And I've recently heard a rumour, I'm not sure where, I have no sources for this, but the latest Terminator film, which is in production, is going to be a 15. I have a problem with that. My problem is that, is it built as a 15 or is it built as an 18? Then made into a 15? Because with some films, you can tell that it was built as an 18. And then halfway through, they decided, 15. For the age rating. And I don't feel... It's like with cars. If you're going to build a car, build a convertible to start with, or build a hardtop to start with. Don't go halfway through, wait a minute, I want this to be a soft top. Because you've made decisions in the process of building the film or the car that you cannot go back on, and it will be noticeable to the person watching the film where it's gone wrong. The interesting thing is, I feel that Terminator 3, which isn't particularly a well-loved film, was... I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I have a feeling the script was an 18. The script was a hard 18, and the filmmakers went, no, we want a 15, but we like your script. That is a bad thing, because 15 rated scripts are light PG, a slightly heavy PG, parental guidance, if you see what I mean. The first film you send your 15-year-old kid off to and say, here, go watch a violent movie, have fun. I really do feel that you cannot build an 18 rated movie in the script, in the casting. No, you can't really build it in the casting, but in the script, and then halfway through, nearly to production, say we're going for 15, we're cutting these scenes, because it kills pacing. You can tell in certain movies that it was a higher rating. Let me give you some examples. Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation. Now, Terminator Salvation is an odd one. The movie is not good anyway, but I have a feeling as a hard 15 it would have worked. Hard 18 it would have worked. Not as a 15. The Terminator franchise never works anything below 18. It's just a fact, and that's why the TV series failed, because the way they portray violence in the Terminator films is perfect. In Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, you have an adversary that you fear. Now, in Terminator 3, it was less so, because you've got this problem that you don't see the kills. And it doesn't help. In Terminator 2, there is this classic scene where the T-2000, I think it is, the one played by Rob Patrick, I think, is coming out of the floor of the insane asylum that Sarah Connor is in. He comes up and he slices the man basically through the head. It cuts away, but then it cuts back to his spike through the guy's head, through the guy's throat. And that really works. It really works because it gives the T-2000 a menacing feel. That is the kind of thing that a 15 rated film can't do. In Terminator 3, there were a lot more stupid jokes because it was not an 18. And it suffered incredibly because of that. Arnold Schwarzenegger acted wonderfully in it. He reprised his role as the titular Terminator very well. And the problem was, it was the adversary. The adversary didn't do things like the original Terminator, or the Terminator 2000. The Terminator 2000, basically the liquid Terminator, is a classic cinema villain because it is so imposing. You don't know if you're standing right next to them because they can morph into anyone. He's overpowered. And the original Terminator is fighting at a disadvantage. That is what gives that film such a kick in the really good meaty balls. That movie has balls to do what it did at the time. And I really think that film as a 15 would never work. It would have killed the franchise. The original Terminator as a 15, forget it, it wouldn't work. It would never work. You wouldn't be able to do the interesting things, like the shootout at the police station, which is a classic cinema scene and has a lot of cinema tropes in it, but it is a wonderful scene. I would never say it's not. Now, the rumours that they're taking the next Terminator to a 15 worry me. Because, I don't know, you can't do that with some franchises, and I really think they're going to make a mistake. It's going to be a Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation kind of rubbish. Unless they've got the script to make the story interesting. This is the thing. The story in Terminator, to be brutally honest, the original Terminator was bare fucking bones. We are talking the carcass had a little bit of meat on it because the wolf went away. It's the original Terminator franchise. We're talking the first two films. Had a bare bones story. It had a lot of backstory. I've got to give it that. It's an interesting concept. At the time, it's an interesting concept. But you cannot ever have a film that has more story. If you got to go, there are two ways you got to go with action films. You got to go heavy story, things like Casino Royale, which has heavy story and good action, or you got to go things like Terminator, which has exquisite action pieces. Things like the first time the Terminator kills is very well done. It's him going through the phone book, finding Sarah Connor and going through all the Sarah Connors. You've got to have either a mediocre story to back up the action, or exquisite story to back up a good amount of action. Now, Bond has always been able to do that because he's got the stable. He has the building blocks for every film set out in his basic character. You can do a Bond film with any story and it would work because you've got action pieces, you've got a good story, you've got a good protagonist. The protagonist is well loved. The problem I feel with making a soft Terminator, the protagonist is well loved, aka the Terminator. I don't feel that they're going to be able to. With Terminator 3, it was banking on Arnold's appeal, and it barely worked. It did well in the box office, but literally nowadays you can watch it and go, yeah, that film's not that good. Terminator Salvation was a ball-busting waste of time. I watched that film. It was bloody awful. It was incredibly stupid. The idea was okay. The idea of seeing how John Connor was doing in the actual apocalypse, interesting idea. Didn't have the testicles to actually pull it off. It didn't have the balls of things like the original Terminator or Terminator 2. Now, I can't remember what the Terminator 2 rating was, but if it was a 15, you'd surprise me. If it was an 18, you wouldn't surprise me. But this is the thing. You've got to have the groundworks done. And I'm not sure if they're going to get it right. So, basically, I'm saying all people who work in the film industry should have faith that they can do a hard 18 with anything that isn't Marvel. Because Marvel makes money by basically having a sticker saying Marvel on a film. Oh, but there is one exception to this, and one big bloody exception. Deadpool. Deadpool must be a hard 18. Nobody will accept it as a 15. Nobody. So, thanks for watching this reasonably long, 13-minute video on my views on 18 rated movies and how they are good and how they should be done. Goodbye.